Hey everybody, welcome back. My name is Abby, I'm with Fitness is Medicine, and today I'm going to give you a workout you can do entirely on the floor or on your bed. I've given you a few different ones of these. Sometimes it's nice to have something where you know you don't have to get up and move around a bunch. You can just get your equipment ready, get your mat, or lay on your bed or lay on your floor and know that you can get the whole thing done pretty easily as far as space and time and equipment is concerned. So warm up before you come into this, so you can jump on your elliptical or your treadmill or go for a bike ride or go for a walk, anything like that. Get your heart rate up a little, get your muscles ready to move. So we're gonna do first, we're gonna lie down. I got my mat out today. Move it over just a little bit. And we're gonna do a bridge hold on your back with windmills. So grab maybe a little bit lighter set of dumbbells. So all you're going to need is a lighter set of dumbbells for this, maybe 3-5 pounds. If you know that you've done this exercise and you know you need heavier ones, go ahead and grab those. And then we're going to do one other exercise with dumbbells that you might need one just a little bit heavier. Okay, so on your back, first I'm going to explain the bridge. So I want you to be knees bent, feet flat on the ground. When you go up into a bridge, we've talked about this many times, but I like to review each time because it's really important. When you lie on your back, generally there's a little bit of an arch. Like I can slide my hand in there. That's just kind of my natural position. I want you to flatten that spot. So flatten your back to the mat. So that's just a little bit of a posterior pelvic tilt, but just thinking about flattening your back. And then you pull up into a bridge. So really when you're doing a bridge, you're using your glutes to squeeze your hips up. And you don't need to be up so high that you're pressing, past that neutral position. Sometimes even a bridge is just right here, as long as you're really isolating those glutes. Your hamstrings will do a little too, but we want those glutes to do the majority of the work here. So now I'm also gonna add a windmill. So like I said, grabbing that lighter set of dumbbells. We're going to start with your hands straight overhead and then windmill your arms. You're going to kind of scissors your arms. So combining that together, flatten your back, squeeze your glutes. Your weight is in the heels of your feet here. And then we're going to windmill those arms in that bridge hold. So we're going to do 10 on each side. If you need to, you can come down out of that bridge, a couple times to give your hips a break if you're getting tired. 5. The other thing is with your windmills, if this is bothering your shoulder at all, grab a lighter set of dumbbells, or you can also bend your elbows just a little bit. That's okay, depending on what you have at home and if you need to make some adjustments there. Let's do 3 more. 8, pushing your feet through your heels or your weight through your heels. 10 and 10. Good. Okay. Lower down, put those weights off to the side. You're not going to need both of them again. You might need one depending on what weight you need for that next dumbbell exercise. Okay, now we're going to lay back down on the floor. I'm just refreshing my screen here. So stay where you are on the floor in that position. So we're going to do a leg lift. And we've done these in the past. Same thing. You're on your back. You want to flatten that back to the mat. Really protect your low back there. When you have your foot out straight like this, it's kind of a natural tendency. If you were to rest, your feet kind of want to turn out to the side, right? So let your foot turn out to the side. And then we're going to lift and lower it from there. So this isolates, it kind of works on your VMO here a little bit, in addition to your hip flexors. But this is a good way to work your quad, kind of in an isometric fashion. This isn't an isometric exercise, but you're not having to move that joint. So this is a good way to kind of activate those quad muscles. And this is a different way by turning your foot out to the side. So working that inner part of your quad in addition to your hip flexors here. Nice and slowly, both directions, 9 and 10. Good. Now we're going to switch and do the other side. So let your foot kind of turn up to the side here. And now we're going to lift and lower that one nice and slowly. So only lift it up to about the height of your other knee. If you lift it all the way up here, it actually lets that muscle relax. So we're trying to work it here, right? And then don't set your foot all the way down. So if you'll notice in my first set, I'm just in this range of motion here. We're not letting that muscle relax. We're keeping it contracted throughout the whole set here. 5, 6. Keeping your core contracted. Remember, you're trying to keep that back nice and flat to the ground. 2 more. 9 and 10. Good. Okay. Now we're going to roll over into your side. Last time we did those opposite clamshells. This time we're going to do a regular clamshell. These are great hip stabilizers. So lying on your side, remember you really want your hips stacked, shoulders stacked. You can put your hand here, almost thinking about rolling forward, but you're not rolling forward. It's just really just keeping them stacked, because when you're in this position, it's easy to kind of lean off to the side, so where your hips are open. You want to keep them completely closed, facing the opposite wall, hips stacked right on top of each other. And then bring your knees up and your feet up towards your hips. Now we're going to lift and lower your knee while keeping your feet together. And then importantly, when you lift that knee, don't open these hips. You want to keep them closed. So if you want to put one hand there to make sure, because it's easy when you lift that knee to kind of turn open a little bit, to want to be an overachiever. Don't be an overachiever on this one. Keep it small. And then lift it only to here, and then try not to touch your knees back together. So we're really just isolating those glutes, your glute med, your glute max. We're really just isolating those muscles. If you're doing it correctly, you should really start to feel it burn back in here. Like I'm feeling it right back in here. If you need to, if you've done these a lot and you want a little resistance, you can put a band around your knees. But if you're doing them really slowly in this small range of motion, sometimes I just don't think a band is necessary. And good. Okay, so now we're going to switch sides. When you switch sides, remember you want to really focus on getting those hips stacked, your shoulders stacked, hand forward, bend your knees, bring your feet up towards your hips, and you're really, like sometimes I kind of even just kind of scoop my hips back to make sure that this hip is really right on top. Not a large movement here, it's pretty small. Keeping this forward so that it helps keep your hips and shoulders stacked. Nice and easy, 5, small range of motion. Don't be an overachiever on this one. 7, 8, nice and slowly. Like I said, I'm not touching here. I'm keeping a little space when my knees start to come together to really isolate here and not let that muscle relax. All right, good. Okay, clamshells. Now we're going to flip over and do a plank. So I'm going to have you do it on your elbows. I'm going to go this way. When you do a plank, one way you can do it, if you're really not sure about doing it on the floor, is you could do it like at your kitchen counter or up on a bench, an elevated plank. I do that a lot in my gym. It's just, it's still working all of the same muscles. It's just a little bit lighter intensity. So find out if you were really frightened about doing a plank on the floor, that's okay. Try doing it on a bench. It's harder to do it on your elbows on a bench, so then I would just use your hands, especially, and also with the kitchen sink. I'm gonna have you try it on your elbows though today. So you can lie down, put your elbows, you wanna bring those toes under you, and then just come up like this. So we're gonna work on holding this for about 30 seconds. Now, if this is getting really difficult, try putting one knee down. And then you can try putting the other knee down. And you can just kind of, honestly, slowly alternate that way. And if that's too much, come down to your knees. And that's okay. I'm still holding myself in a nice straight line from my knees to the top of my head. And then for the last 5 seconds here, you could try going back up to those toes. All right, good. And then a good stretch after a plank is kind of sitting back in child's pose if you can do that. Hold that for a good 30 seconds if you're able. Now we're gonna flip back over onto your mat here. So we're gonna do a double-double, which we've done in the past, but we're gonna start in that classic position, knees bent, back flat on the floor. Remember, you want to this is a really important one, to keep your back flat to the mat, because we want to protect your back here. So I'm gonna break this down for you. So we're gonna do a knee lift and then back down. And the goal here is, like I said, to keep that back flat. So I'm not touching my feet to the floor. Now I'm gonna add my arms. So my feet are down, my arms are over my head. And then I'm gonna bring them towards each other. So I'm just gonna touch my knees and then go back up. So really, as you stretch out, flatten that back to the mat. Don't touch your feet to the floor. Really make that core work, keeping your back flat in every time. But what I like about this one is every time your knees and your hands come towards each other is another chance for you to work on flattening, like repositioning and flattening your back. 6, 7. Now, if this feels really easy to you with your knees this bent, you can straighten them just a little. Just increase that angle here between your legs, between the top and bottom of increase your knee angle. If you're really feeling strong and your back is staying flat to the ground and you're really feeling like you need more, you can straighten out and then come back. But I only want you doing that if you find doing it with your knees bent and you're able to keep that back flat. That's a really important thing, because it's really requiring a lot of abdominal work to keep that back flat and not let your back take over in this exercise. Okay, so do those 10 times. That's 1, 2, okay? And remember to keep breathing. That can be really hard with core work. Find a rhythm where you breathe in for 1 rep and then out for 1 rep type of thing. All right, we're gonna end with a triceps extension on your back again. So I grabbed a little bit heavier weight for my dumbbell here. So I'm going to have you lie down. We're gonna do, this one's actually called skull crusher for obvious reasons. So we're going to lower that weight towards your forehead and then bring it back straight overhead. So this one you can use probably a little bit heavier weight than you were using for that windmill in the beginning of the exercise, or the beginning of the session. Now I'm keeping my elbows in a straight line. So they're staying narrow, trying to keep them about as narrow as the dumbbell is here. Nice and slowly here. You don't want to hit yourself in the head. But it should lower straight down towards your head just to isolate those triceps, which is the muscle in the back of your arm that straightens your elbow. 9 and 10. Okay, good. All right, so all you're gonna need is a couple sets of dumbbells, 1 lighter and then just one dumbbell that's a little heavier, and you can do these all on your bed. You can do them on the floor, wherever's most comfortable for you in your house, and that you can do them properly. Okay, let me know if you have any questions. Repeat, I think this is a really doable one to repeat through a couple more times for sure. And because it's all on your back, I would highly recommend that you get up and do some cardio in between to make this a good workout. So maybe get up, walk around the block quick, or walk around the outside of your house, or walk up and down your stairs a couple times. Good way to get your heart rate up, come back, do these really focused exercises, and then repeat again. Then you can do some stretches at the end and have yourself a great workout. Thank you, everybody. Keep moving, and I'll see you next time.